Hello, everyone. Chris Jones of LifeWriting.com. With me is Miss Shawan Villanueva. How are you?
I'm doing great, Chris. Thanks for having me.
So, Shawan, thank you so much for joining me today. I thought it was perfectly fitting that fashion is presented at this point in time by a professional such as yourself. Your passion and flavor and allure for fashion itself, I had to get you on the show so you could talk about some aspects of it. The first thing that I want to know, fashion in itself, I know it spans the gamut. And yeah, again, you're going to break down various aspects of it. But I want to start from the beginning. How did fashion really resonate with you?
Well, from a young girl, I was a little bit more on the introverted side, a little bit shy, reserved. So I felt, fashion was a way to express myself without doing a lot of talking or communicating. It spoke for itself. So when you entered a room, you felt that passion, that excitement about that particular outfit. So that inspired me to go into that direction. And it just kind of grown from there. So that's kind of where it started. I would watch, fashion shows on TV. I would watch lifestyle shows. I don't know if you remember Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. I think the host's name was Robin Leach, I believe. And I don't know what it was about that show. It was just like, it just inspired me to, be a better person. But also too, they had in that lifestyle show, it was about, the lifestyle, the fashion, appearance basically, and what showed on the outside. So that got me going.
That got you going and you're still going. So, I said I wanted to start from the beginning, but I really want to start from the beginning. And in part, you just kind of touched on a few elements of this, but in terms of Shawan, right? And of course, fashion is at the core of what I'm about to pose, right? But who is Shawan though?
Well, first of all, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I am a very inspiring, ambitious, go getter, trendsetter, all the above. Anything that I aspire to be, I want to be that and continue to be. So I start from there, my household, running my household every day, inspiring my family to be a better person. That's where it all starts and begins. And that's how I begin my day. If they're good, then I'm good. And it goes from there. So, I'm constantly growing, constantly learning. That's always been me from young. And I never stopped learning. I never stopped being a student. And I always learn from others too. So that always helps.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. And you mentioned it, the family and all, right. And I know you have a daughter, and
Yes,
I would assume it's safe to assume that she's very fashionable in her own right.
absolutely. She has her own style. And actually, her style is very different from mine. So a little bit younger, I
Okay.
used to, be able to like dress her in my own way. Now that she's older, she's gotten into her groove and she likes to do fashion her way. So, we always sometimes she'll come to me and she'll ask me for, tips and things of that nature. But she has her own style and her own trends. So she kind of follows her own beat, and that's just the way it is. But yeah, she's definitely into fashion and, constantly growing in that arena as well.
My daughter is almost 18. So in her own right, like you touched on with your daughter, she has
Yes,
her own vibe. She takes from this era. She likes this person and this designer.
exactly.
So let me ask you this too, in terms of I just touched on my daughter, certain, fashion icons, if you will, that she emulates and, years ago aspired to be, or whatever the case may be. Who are some of the designers that aspire you today?
Well, designers, they always come and go, but the ones that are, they're constantly growing throughout. years. So one of my favorite designers, I would say, that stands out to me currently is probably like Kanye West. I like his style, and the reason why is because he's very forward thinking.
Okay.
And always think of, futuristic things. So he's constantly changing the way trends are. I typically follow the ones that are more like trendsetters. They're always thinking outside of the box. Another one that comes to mind, I like Victoria Beckham. I like a lot of her style. She's very modern, very sleek, very feminine, and it reflects a lot in my style as well. So those are a couple of designers that I can think of right off the bat that really stands out to me, that are currently trendsetters.
Okay. So look, I have to be forthcoming, right?
Yeah,
And I have to be honest. Uh, the first person you mentioned was Kanye West, right?
yeah.
And again, when you initially said it, inside I was kind of like taken aback, just a little. But as you started to, of course, explain and describe, certain things that resonate with you in particular, the futuristic mindset that Kanye West has. Hey, look, he went from where he was as the rap mogul and still is in his own right, to this fashion icon who is a billionaire now, which for the most part, his billionaire status really evolved, I should say, from the fashion industry. And that's just like, that's almost mind boggling to me.
Kanye is actually very talented and he's a genius if you think about it marketing wise, because
Yeah.
a lot of things that he does, it has just tremendous effect on the public, regardless of whether it is something that you agree with or whether you don't agree with. At the end of the day, Kanye is going to be Kanye. So, and that honestly is a part of being a trendsetter. Is if that's something that you're looking to do, you're going to have a lot of controversy.
Right.
And in order to change lives and to change the way people think, you have to be the person to be able to stand out on your own and be able to think quick and be able to market yourself in that way where you can be able to change minds.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
does that.
Yeah, and look, you can say, think whatever you want to about him. You mentioned the marketing aspect of his whole mantra, right? And yeah, I was almost shocked when I first heard about the shoes, the Easy shoes,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
what, right? And the price tag, and like, well, people were like 500, 700, $1,000, $2,000, what have you. Well, I mean, from a pricing perspective, if the market can bear it, why not? Price
Exactly.
it as such. Obviously, they're not for everybody. I mean, it goes without saying. But apparently, it has paid off literally and figuratively. So, yeah. Thanks for kind of breaking that out the way you did, because I was kind of, at first I was like, yeah, she's exactly right. Kanye is like one of the perfect examples of fashion, especially as it relates today and seemingly into the future. So, speaking of which, that business aspect of it or what have you, um, in terms of, I don't know, be it fashion, maybe not producing an end item or what have you, but from a business perspective, do you envision yourself in that lane in any capacity whatsoever?
Absolutely. I have a lot of visions for myself. I do, write things down. I have goals and so forth. As far as fashion is concerned, I more gravitate towards more of coaching and lifestyle, more like an image consultant, because I like to incorporate not only just fashion, but also hair, makeup, just a whole look. Because I feel like if you can present the full package, you can feel confident about yourself. Sometimes it just takes you to the next level. And when you have somebody that is coaching you in the background and giving you the proper advice and also listening to you, I feel like as a person, you can, take yourself to the next level, because, I'm all about leveling up. I'm all about, how you can be the best version of yourself. And I think image consulting is a great way to help people become the best version of themselves.
And this is just my take on it. When I think of fashion and how it makes you feel, Deion Sanders used to always say, when I look good, I feel good. If I look good, feel good, I play good. At the end of the day, I used to say whatever works works. You know what I mean?
Right.
Something else I wanted to touch on is and that I like looking at my bigger monitor here, right? Something else I want to touch on is your Instagram, right, page. And
Yes.
hey, look, it's one of those, not to put you on the spot, but okay, actually I am putting you on the spot. Um, this is one of your most recent posts, right?
Yes.
Look at that. The I, I absolutely loved it the other day when I saw it. Do you want to talk about this ensemble, this outfit?
Well, honestly, I dress based on my mood and how I'm feeling that day.
Okay.
So I'm the one that don't always put an outfit out the night before. I'm
Okay.
not one of those people. So when I get up in the mornings and I do my routine, I'm like, okay, what am I going to wear today? So it all depends on my mood. And that day I was feeling sassy. I was like, I'm just going to, go with whatever I feel. So, and I throw things together, and that's the beauty of fashion. That's the beauty of styling, and styling comes from within. So whatever I'm feeling that day, it's going to reflect in my clothing.
Gotcha. No, look, it makes sense to me. Sound guilty. This is another one, and you don't have to really talk to it or what have you, but yeah, I just thought it would be fun if I kind of scale through them and show the folks, hey, look, this is what she's doing. This is what she does to it, like you said, inspire people through fashion, right? So
Exactly.
this one in itself. Okay, maybe it's the all black. I don't know, but it's so doing it to me and for me. Do you want to talk about maybe how you felt that morning, that day, or what have you?
Well, that morning I was like, okay, let me wear something that is simple, that I'll be able to reflect my style, because I'm all about modern, feminine, sleek, whatever. So that particular outfit was very simple, but I found a way to be able to make it stand out. And it was basically my posture and good lighting. And I was like, I'm definitely going to present myself in a certain way. And I was feeling myself that day. So yeah, that was a very simple outfit. But I actually like, my approach to fashion is more like modern, feminine, and something that's going to be simple, but it's not overdone.
And what did you say, Shawan? You were feeling yourself that day?
I was feeling myself that day.
Uh, no, that's awesome. Okay, all right. I'm not picking on you here by no means, but look, I got to click on it. This last one, so you can talk to it. Now, tell me about this one. What's the deal? What was behind this one?
I wanted that particular belt to stand out. So I like to match things that are not necessarily what people would like throw on, the average person would not do. So I was like, okay, so how can I make this dress better? And a great way to make a dress better or to level up an outfit is basically through accessories. So accessories like my go-to. So I was like, okay, I love this dress. It's really cute, but I need to, make it better. I'm always looking at making an outfit better, right? In my eyes. So that was a way for me to level up that dress, was to take this cute little belt and, throw it around my waist. And I was like, okay, this is it. This is what I'm wearing today, And actually that dress wasn't meant to be cinched, but I cinched it
Okay.
with that particular belt. So that belt, that dress is actually very loose fitting. It's very loose fitting. And I was like, okay, I'm going to cinch my waist. So I want to wear this belt. And this is a great way to accessorize and make it stand out. Something not typical, you know?
So I'm glad you touched on the cinching of it, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, because I was just about to ask you, like, well, okay, what does that mean? Yeah, I don't know.
To make it smaller, to bring it in. Yeah. So, you know, to, as they say, what waist on Instagram, that's a hashtag, what waist. So basically it's just to make your
Oh,
waist look smaller, to appear smaller, to give the illusion of a smaller waist.
I think, yeah. I in some way I need to make sure I incorporate all of them, but specifically those, right,
Yeah.
into this conversation. So again, just give people some visuals, like, oh, okay, she is fashion conscious or what have you. She knows a little bit of what she's talking about. She knows what she's doing. And for the record, of course, I already knew that. And those of us who follow you, be it on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever, we see your posts, and very tasteful, colorful, very expressive, all of the things that you mentioned, at the beginning of the conversation. When you literally see a person wearing what they say, right, and how they feel, it just brings everything home. So I really appreciate it. So one of the last things that I would like to inquire about, so you touched on, be it, Kanye West and the image part of things, or what have you, image consulting, in your future, right, if you will. So we're going to be on the lookout for that business venture. We will be on the lookout. I know I am. So in saying all of that, say, I don't know, 5, 10 years from now, you start your image consulting, and only God knows whatever else, you've branched off into, right? What legacy, obviously from a fashion standpoint, would you like to leave?
To be honest with you, my take on it is to be able to transform and to be able to inspire other young people, or alike, and be able to cross borders, to be able to um, have those see me in a certain light, see me as an African American woman in a certain light, that hey, we can make changes to the world as well. So that's, to me, that's the most important, is when I can be able to inspire someone and help someone, because I'm naturally a supporter. I'm naturally a coach, a leader at heart. So if I can find a way to be able to cross borders and to be able to change people's way of thinking, and to be able to inspire people to grow themselves, then that's always a good thing on my part. I felt like I did a great job, So
Mhm, mhm.
those type of things are important to me, if I can
Yeah,
inspire that next person.
no, that's awesome. That's awesome. Look, look, it inspires me, to see, anybody express themselves via, their outer appearance or what have you. And that's kind of the beauty of it too. I've spoken with some folks, and they're like, the thing about fashion is it can kind of it can obviously express the way you're feeling internally, but it can also mask the way you are really feeling internally,
Absolutely.
and this is a older gentleman that shared that with me years ago. And on the surface, yeah, I get it, I knew that, but maybe it was the way he conveyed it. It just really made me kind of internalize a wealth of things in terms of the importance of fashion itself, right? um, and there's one last aspect of fashion that I like to quickly touch on. And this is just me. Correct me if I, you know, looking at this wrong, incorrectly, or whatever. When I think of fashion, right, I oftentimes I do think of certain designers, and usually those designers are, they correlate with dollars and cents, right? As expensive. And so what would you say? How would you recommend someone approach being fashionable, but at the same time, being money conscious or what have you? What's your take on that?
Well, everything doesn't have to be designer. Everything doesn't have to be at the high price point. So I think meeting someone somewhere in the middle and finding things that are going to be just as fashionable, but also, being able to have their creative take on it at a lower price point is always a great thing, because you always want to do some comparison, because everybody is not in the same bracket. Everyone doesn't think the same way. And a lot of people just don't want to spend a lot of money on clothing items. That's not on the forefront. It's not important to them. So we want to find ways to be able to, make those changes without necessarily spending a lot of money. So some great ways are to, you may maybe go thrifting, where you not necessarily, it can be like secondhand, or you can always go to a lower price point store that may have some of the same creative things, other than just, the higher end, like the Gucci's, the Louis Vuittons, or the higher end. It's not always about that. And sometimes it's great to mix and match. I do it all the time. I may have on, a cute designer belt, but at the same time, my full outfit may come from somewhere else. So everything I have on is not necessarily designer, but that's the beauty of fashion and styling, is you're able to mix and match. And also, piece shop. That's something I do all the time. I'm always thinking ahead, like if I'm out, or if I'm in the mall, or if I'm out somewhere, I'm like, wow, you know what? I have that at home. This will look great with that particular item that I have at home already. So I'm always thinking in my head, what would look good with this particular item? So always thinking that way. And that's a way that you can also build your capsule wardrobe, and be able to level up. So everything is not always about buying a full outfit, but sometimes you can piece shop, where you may find items here and there, and you're able to pick those things up and just create a beautiful creation that's something that's unique to you.
Right. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I cannot thank you enough for imparting, all of that information, your wisdom, be it from your professional standpoint, personal, obviously. You look bona fide to me, to us. You definitely look bona fide. She knows what the heck she's talking about. So, but yeah, thanks for being here with me again. And I look forward to having you on again in some capacity. As I mentioned, the month of August is one of the months appreciation is Black business. So yeah, that Black image consulting business someday soon, the one that's in the works right now, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm working on it now. So, I'm trying to create a platform for myself where I can actually, get on camera, kind of doing what you're doing in a sense, incorporate some things where, I'm able to speak to others. And that's the quickest way that you're able to do it versus face to face. So it's a great way to inspire people, and also get great feedback on what you're doing. So nothing other than putting something on social media and getting feedback, because people will be honest and they will tell you.
Yes, they will tell you whether you want to hear it or not.
Exactly.
And that's what we all need, some type of be it constructive criticism, and the like. So again, I thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I will be talking to you later. Okay.
Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate you having me on your show.
Yep, you're absolutely welcome. Well, everyone, that was Shawan sharing her wisdom in and around the world of fashion. I really thank you guys for tuning in, and continue to support lifewriting.com, where writing speaks.